Good evening. This is CTV News for Friday, January the 8th. I'm Sonia Shavasva. Thank you for joining us tonight. A former Prince George's police officer learns his fate in court today. Jancesky Santiago was sentenced for assaulting a man with his gun. His family was apologetic, but prosecutors say he was not. Our Denise Douglas has the details.
Despite pleas for leniency by his family today, Jancesky Santiago was sentenced to 5 years behind bars by a judge. You may remember back in 2014, the former officer approached two men in a car in front of a Bowie home and told them they were parked illegally. The driver told him he was dropping off his cousin, William Cunningham. As Cunningham was walking to his home, Santiago told him to get back into the car. When Cunningham did not, he blocked him, pulled his gun, pointed it at Cunningham's head and mouth. The state's attorney and the victim said today they were satisfied with the sentence against Santiago.
So his mindset is one that we believe was dangerous before we pursued these charges. We believe now that his mindset continues to be that, and we're satisfied that he was not only removed from our street as a citizen who was dangerous, but we believe that he also had no business whatsoever serving in our police department, and we are really satisfied that he will no longer serve in that capacity.
Coming here today, I envisioned that same sentence, and I was comfortable with that. But as State's Attorney also Brooks said, it kind of didn't sit well with me to hear that he was not apologetic or had no remorse. In that sense, it changed, how I feel he should have been sentenced, but I'm comfortable with what happened ultimately.
After serving 5 years behind bars, Santiago will be subject to 2 years supervised probation. I'm Denise Douglas, CTV News.
And Cunningham has also filed a civil lawsuit against Santiago. Meantime, a suspect who shot a police officer multiple times in Philadelphia last night says he did it in the name of Islam. The unprovoked attack is being described as an ambush. The attacker told police he pledged allegiance to ISIS. The officer survived and returned fire, hitting the attacker. Meantime, Governor Larry Hogan has declared Saturday, January 9th, as Law Enforcement Appreciation Day in the state. Maryland has approximately 15,000 police officers. Well, a woman is struck and killed by a vehicle in Laurel this morning. The incident happened about 6 a.m. at the corner of Route 197 and Morris Drive. Laurel officials say the driver involved in the accident stayed at the scene.
Laurel police say 19-year-old Helene Nagasso was crossing Route 197 at Morris Drive at 6:06 this morning when she was struck by a vehicle that was traveling northbound on Route 197. She was transported to Prince George's County Hospital and pronounced dead there. Police say the 66-year-old driver, who's from Upper Marlboro, did stay at the scene and was very cooperative with our investigators. Right now, witnesses are telling police that the victim was not using the crosswalk at Morris Drive when she was struck.
Now, Barnes says there is a lot of pedestrian traffic at the intersection.
On foot and heavy pedestrian and motor vehicle traffic. So our best advice for people is to use the crosswalk. There's a crosswalk right there at Morris Drive with a signal to let you know when it's safe to cross the roadway.
The driver had a steady green light at the time of the incident. No charges have been filed so far. Well, portable space heaters help keep us warm when we're cold, but as with any combustible, if they are used incorrectly, they can be dangerous. After back-to-back blazes just this week, an urgent safety message from fire officials tonight. Our Rochelle Metzger reports.
After an unseasonably warm start, it's finally starting to feel like winter outside, and many of us will be pulling those space heaters out of the back of the closet. But before you go plugging them in, fire officials warn they can be dangerous. Just this week alone, 2 local families learned that the hard way. 2 house fires in 4 days caused by space heaters in Prince George's County. In both cases, appliances ignited nearby combustibles in bedrooms, sparking officials to make an urgent message about safety.
If you need the heater, We would prefer to see people use the electric heaters. If they use the electric heaters, we need to make sure that they're plugged directly into a wall, not an extension cord, and that the combustibles aren't too close.
Crews responded Monday to a townhouse fire on Beltsville Drive in Beltsville. On Thursday, firefighters battled a blaze on Early Oaks Lane in Capitol Heights.
We can't have any combustibles within 3 feet of those heaters. We have seen time after time where combustibles ignite when they're too close to a heater. We strongly encourage the folks to look for a UL listing, Underwriters Laboratory. That is the United States-based rating laboratory that we recognize and use.
11 adults and 2 children are now displaced, with an estimated $150,000 in damages. Chief Bashore says the families are fortunate no one was injured.
Both of those happened in the daytime when folks were awake. We know from our histories that when these fires happen at night, we're much more likely to have fatalities.
According to the United States Fire Administration, portable warming units cause 1/3 of home heating fires and 4 out of 5 related fatalities. Bashore says there are a number of common mistakes people make.
They have got to make sure they're maintaining that clearance, that they're not plugging these heaters into extension cords. Sometimes people use them for drying clothes or for just general heating up against a couch or something to that effect. We discourage kerosene heaters and things that use gases and those other types of fuels because that also produces carbon monoxide, which creates a secondary hazard.
Chief Bashore says while the department sees a spike in the winter, they do respond to these types of fires year-round. So it's important not just to know, but to follow these safety tips whenever and wherever you use a portable heater. In Springdale, I'm Rochelle Metzger, CTV News.
Now, should there be a fire, officials say having a working smoke alarm on every level of your home, in addition to an exit plan, dramatically increases your family's chances of survival. Well, stay where you are. You're watching CTV News. I'm Sonia Srivastava.